Good morning, Muscle Car Corner here, Kissimmee 2025. Taking a look at some of the rides in some of these outer tents. Why don't y'all take a walk with me? Take a look at some beautiful cars. Talk about some old stories of days gone by with muscle car stories. Wow, this is an amazing collection of Corvettes here. 68, 427, 435, 445K miles. It's a Bloomington Gold benchmark car. Pretty cool, all original. That's 427. Let's take a look at that 427. There we go. 435 horse, 427. That's what I'm talking about. Convertible. Stating in 130 to 150. And here we got a 69 427 390 horse Corvette. That was the lower horsepower of the three motors they had in that year. It's amazing as a body man and painter when you start looking at some of the work that was done on these cars. Just the paint was atrocious on these things from the factory. I remember back in the day, having to realign doors and fenders and all that, back in the day. Here's a 70 LS5 454, 17,000 original miles on it. Pretty cool piece. Here again, looking at the paint on these things, it's just crazy. They didn't block anything from the factory. This fiberglass was not perfect by any means. When I restored my 73, I took it all the way down to bare fiberglass, re-gel coated it, used all glazerite materials on it. I blocked that car. I put 2 gallons of primer on it. Most of it went down the drain, wet sanding the car and making it as straight as a Corvette could be. And when I showed it at NCRS, they deducted points because the paint was too nice on it. So if you're going to restore a car for NCRS, it's amazing that they want the old original paint to look just the way it was. So kind of a cool little story there when I redid my car and put it in to NCRS show back in the early 90s. Here's a 72 LS5 454, 17,000 original miles on it. Here's a 72 with 3,500 miles. That's a small block car. 72 should be a 350. Yeah. And so on and so forth. One of 25. This is an original 70 ZR1. This was the pilot car, test car. Pretty cool piece. That's the one that started all off with the LT1 motor in it. Looks like a 72 California car. ZR1 coupe. 350, 370 horse. That was a bad Wally. Those ZR1 motors were really screamers. They had a big cam in them, good heads. They were screamers. To get 370 horse out of a 350 is pretty cool. So these were a force to be reckoned with. They would hang right with a big block. Get over 1 horsepower per cubic inch, you're doing something right. Yesterday we looked at those. Okay. Pretty neat Chevelle build right here. Kind of subtle. Pretty neat piece. Little tow truck. Replica of Mater. That's from the Disney movie. Pretty cool replica. Lightning McQueen graphics. Look at this beautiful Ferrari 330. I don't get into Ferraris much, but I do love them. I think they're an unbelievable car. Always wanted to own one. They're so finicky and expensive to maintain. This is a rare example. Wow, aluminum hood on it. It feels like it weighs like a half a pound. That's a bad Wally motor right there in this little old car. That didn't sound good. Kind of a unique design on this thing. It's cool. It's a 67 330 GTC. 500 to 550,000. One of 600 produced. I've never seen one of that particular model before. It's quite strikingly cool. A little short ass end on the long front for a small car. I like the way they designed the body on that. I mean, I'll tell you what, Ferrari, their styling engineers were just so far ahead of the game back in that day. God, they were simply amazing. Here's a GTS DeTomaso. We looked at a 74 earlier up there. This is one of the late imports that they kept on importing. They kept on making the car, but it didn't come back in the States until the 80s. 74 was the last one they produced and got into the States. So this is 86. Some of them were scheduled to come to the country and some weren't, and you had to go through all the customs to get them in and get them legal, smog wise and everything else, you know. But this is a later model Pantera GTS. Never was a huge fan on them. I'm partial to 71, being I own a 71. So I like the wing. And it was still a Cleveland car at that point too, I believe. The later ones had 340 Mopar motors in them. Well, look at this Yenko. Holy smokes. 1,000 horsepower Yenko Corvette. Hello. Stage 2. That's what I'm talking about. Man, that color is cool. This thing's wild. I love it. Yenko. Hello. SYC. Look at that. Ooh, boy. Quite amazing. I have never seen one of these. I didn't even know existed. That is one sleek ride right there. I bet you this thing's got a 220 mile an hour top end on it at least, if not more. One of 25, 1,600 miles. Hmm. 160 to 180. I would imagine that car was $1.50 new, 200. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. Let's take a look at this little drag car here. This Super Cobra Jet. This little Cobra Jet from Jerry Harvey. Used to drag race this car. This was built at the Holman Moody shop. You sent something to Holman Moody, it was done right, and it was going to be quick, and it was going to win. They were the Ford gurus back in the day, and they built some amazing cars. I like this little Stang. It's cool. Fastback. It was in Carcraft magazine in 1968. 4-speed, them little teeny buckets. They don't weigh nothing. Carcraft magazine. It was on the All-Star racing team. Look at this. I always like looking at little stickers. I've never heard of Ramco piston rings. That's a new one on me. Jerry Harvey's amazing Stang. 68 Stanger. Some slicks up under. Goodyear slicks at that. 68 national record holder. 68 U.S. national winner. And 69 poster car. Look at that. Should have put a period correct battery in that. I'm just saying. Pretty cool little Stanger. I like the way it sits. They got the front way up in the air. Tall tires up under the front of it. Give it more of a stance. Man, that thing is super sweet. Well, I'm going to leave you with this cool little 68 Stanger. And hope y'all enjoy this video. Please stay tuned for more. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. And subscribe. Sure would appreciate it. Thank you so much.